This case involves the heartbreaking and deeply disturbing story of 4-year-old Jessica Mast, a tragedy that highlights extreme religious radicalism, severe child abuse, and a fatal failure of parental protection. The story takes place in Lincoln, Missouri, a small, quaint town in Benton County. The area has a heavy Anabaptist presence consisting primarily of Mennonite and Charity Christian Church members. Jessica lived there with her parents, James and Mary Mast, and her 2 young brothers. Up until a few months before Jessica's death, the family belonged to the Charity Ministries, a group known for radical interpretations of corporal punishment. Within their past church teachings, severe physical discipline was actively applauded. The church utilized paddles with engineered holes to maximize aerodynamic stinging without leaving distinct marks, and parents were encouraged to beat their children, sometimes as young as 3 months old, until they completely submitted or went limp. The belief was that you could physically beat demons out of a person. This twisted ideology created a perfect environment for total control, which the Mast family members, Ethan Mast and Courtney, used to absolute devastation. Ethan and Courtney had entered the family's life under the guise of religious and spiritual counseling. Behind closed doors, Ethan and Courtney were engaged in an extramarital relationship, and rumors in the community suggested that Courtney even shared a deeply complicated history with Jessica's father, James. Over a period of several weeks, Ethan and Courtney took total control of the Mast household. They claimed the family was heavily infested with demons and used the household's own security system to monitor the children. They would scream through the security camera microphones to terrorize those kids. They began launching severe physical attacks on the family, beating James, Mary, and the children with belts and wooden spoons. James and Mary completely submitted to the abuse, later claiming they were told it was a God thing and that they would go to hell, be beaten, or be shot if they resisted. The violence reached a lethal climax on December 19, 2020. Ethan and Courtney came to the house, deliberately unplugged the security cameras, and began a relentless assault on the children. They first targeted Jessica's 2-year-old brother Nathaniel, beating him brutally with a belt because he would not lay perfectly still. Then, they turned their fury on 4-year-old Jessica. Ethan began whipping the little girl with a heavy leather belt, swinging it with maximum force. In a detail that shatters the heart, a terrified Jessica tried to run to her father, James, for protection. Instead of shielding his daughter, James ran around the dining room table to actively avoid her, leaving the little girl to be chased down and beaten by the neighbors. Jessica then tried to run to her mother, Mary, but Mary ran away from her own daughter. Jessica managed to reach out and grab the fabric of her mother's dress, a desperate plea for help that Mary rejected by breaking away. Following the brutal beating, the abuse took a freezing turn. Courtney and Ethan forced Mary to take Jessica outside into the bitter December night, where temperatures were well below freezing. Mary was made to submerge her 4-year-old daughter into an icy pond, drag her out, and lay her completely naked on the freezing bank. As an additional punishment, Mary was forced to swim laps around the